Hey, this is Rick. Welcome to Spit Take, and we are a podcast, and you should listen to us. Here's Adam.
Hi, guys.
So, I know you mentioned that you started finally looking into aliens.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff have you come up with?
So after our last episode, when we were talking about that government commission, I actually watched through that whole thing. And it was like days of footage. And I watched through the whole thing with the former government officials talking about the stuff that they're trying to declassify. Really, really interesting stuff that, for some reason I didn't know. Maybe I'd heard it before, but I didn't know they were calling them UAFs now instead of UFOs. But they started talking about all the different phenomenon that they've experienced, like you were talking about them coming up out of the oceans, the spheres. So it got me intrigued, and I started watching some different stuff on YouTube. Joe Rogan. I didn't realize Joe Rogan was so into that stuff.
Well, you never listened to Joe Rogan then. He talked about Sasquatch.
I never did really listen to Joe Rogan, to be honest. But I started watching his conversations with some people, and it's interesting to hear their stories.
You're totally not involved in like internet drama or anything.
I'm not at all. And I'm okay with that.
Like people are going to start listening like, these guys don't know what they're talking about.
But I watched some good stuff with them talking about their different experiences. A lot of Air Force pilots, Navy pilots talking about things that they saw. And so like, I think I was always on the more skeptical side of things, but now I'm kind of leaning more towards, okay, there's some shit out there. So I've been watching videos on my way to work every day. I know it sounds terrible, but I have my little thing, and I just listen to the audio for the most part. But I've been listening to a lot of those different people speak on it. It's really fascinating. And the part that intrigues me the most is that the stories that are coming out are not from like one source or one area. It's from across the world, and their stories are very similar in what they're seeing. I think Bob Lazar was one that I was watching, and he's got some really interesting, points of view on stuff. He's
on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was watching him, was on Joe Rogan. I was watching that episode. It was good. But I'm just watching like the, 15, 20 minute clips,
There's a lot of people that don't believe him, but I don't know.
I like that he's fascinated by it and asks a lot of questions. He wants to believe in it, but he's asking questions to try to root out like what's going on. And then you can tell he wants to be a believer in it.
No, he's been talking about it for decades, though.
I was watching the one earlier with when he had Dan Aykroyd on the show, and Dan Aykroyd's talking about the crystal skulls. Yeah, which is cool. I had never heard of that before. I didn't know that was a thing. The 13 skulls hidden across the world.
Yeah,
they found 8 of them, but there's still 5 missing.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's pretty. That was pretty neat. And Dan Aykroyd's a huge like paranormal sci-fi like guru.
Yeah, he quit acting to like pursue that.
Yeah, well, he grew up. I was reading about him. He grew up. His parents were like very into the occult, and they would do like seances in their barn and stuff. It was interesting to kind of read about his background. But I was blown away by some of these testimonies and stuff, and I'm really excited to see when they do finally declassify the files. I know that's a big part of what Trump was talking about when he was on Joe Rogan's show too, was trying to declassify a bunch of things, make it public.
Now you got to watch what's that Netflix show? Graham.
I haven't seen that one.
Graham Hancock.
Huh.
First of all, he's been on like Joe Rogan and stuff like that. And then he's been on, and he's got a Netflix show. Season 2's out. I still haven't watched the whole thing, even though I mentioned on our TikTok that I was going to spend a day watching it. And it's very interesting because it's talking about how like our history isn't what we think it is, or possibly not. And there's like pyramids everywhere. Like it's not just Egypt. There's pyramids here. There's in the U.S. There's pyramids, and but there's so many interesting things about it. Though, like how the stones actually come from miles and miles away and stuff like that. Like, it's like, there's no way. It's more about like how technology might even have been better than it is now at some point. Or because the pyramids were made doing stuff that we can't do today.
Yeah. One of
But
the
like also whose technology is all that, because there's other stuff, like if you look at the hieroglyphics and stuff like that, there's like objects in the sky and stuff like that.
Yeah, the star people or something like that is what they call them. One of the speakers was talking about how technology on other worlds may not have progressed in the same fashion that ours did, which I found very interesting because I never really thought about that. Thought there was always kind of like a linear progression, but they were like they may have not started with the steam engine, right? Like they might have jumped straight into nuclear fusion for all we know. That might have been kind of their start into vehicles. So it was interesting to kind of hear these perspectives from these different people. And I mean, a lot of them are scientists. They're people who have worked for the government. So they're not just whack jobs that were found off the street. They were actually involved in a lot of the pieces of things that people talk about. You know, the Area 51, they were involved in the different battle groups that were out doing training exercises and coming across these things and being sent out on missions for it. It's really interesting to just hear some of these things. So, but anyways, your conversation last time we did this sent me down a rabbit hole looking into aliens. So I'm fascinated now, and I'm going to keep looking at that stuff.
Well, Trump said he's going to release some stuff.
Yeah,
and
JFK files.
Release some stuff on JFK too.
Yep. Yeah, he wants to release the JFK files, so that'll be interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of people alive right now who never thought they were going to hear the truth about that.
But he also said he'd release stuff on aliens.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. It'll be an interesting few months coming up.
Yeah. And also, I am very enamored with these Dr. Hannah or Nurse Hannah videos. Oh, hold on a second.
What's Nurse Hannah?
So this is what, I don't know if it's, there's always like internet drama and stuff like that. So there's this nurse that was making these family videos and stuff like that. And then this video, tell me if you can see anything wrong with this video.
Okay, let me see.
So this video came out. Where she filmed this video. People keep shadowboxing their kids, but what do you notice about that?
I don't know. I didn't pick up anything while I was watching it.
Yeah, I'll show it to you one more time.
All right, yeah, let me see it one more time. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be looking for here.
Well, it circles it.
I'm not catching anything.
Hold on a second. It actually, for some reason, that skipped it. Hold on.
And the deleted video from.
Okay. First, it's gonna freeze on me.
Of course it is.
What is going on? Oh, there you go. Now everybody's shadowboxing their kids to show that their kid don't flinch. I actually did it to Lana, and she looked at me like I was an idiot. But so all this stuff keeps coming out from these videos now. I'll show you most recent one, but so she's always doing voiceovers and stuff, but it's like as a kid screaming during the voiceovers. So let me see here. There's one really good one that showed a lot of different stuff, but there's one where okay, watch this.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm going to try to describe what's going on so that we can keep people listening. Watch our live video. It's a lot better. Okay. As a kid. Okay, there's a marker.
Oh, ignore that.
Drawing lines. Okay.
That's just to keep you interested. Look at the kid. Notice how he doesn't have a plate, and he's just standing there, and they're her him away from the food.
Yeah.
This isn't an abnormal thing, because there's several videos where her and her husband are chowing down, and the kid has no plate, and he's always reaching for food, and they're always pushing him away. She's a travel nurse, and she even has one video where she's making $56 an hour for one job. Her husband's real estate, and so she goes to Walmart, and she's like, it's 8 degrees outside, and she's like, $35 for a coat. I know it's 8 degrees outside, but I am paying $35 for a coat.
Huh.
for a toddler.
So these videos are just basically child neglect?
And she's defending it. She's
What?
like, yeah. So it's like, so if you watch these videos, she keeps like, okay, watch this one. Watch her face.
Okay.
So she's just annoyed with her kid.
TikToker Anthony
Well, this is the guy talking about how she was arrested. Okay, yeah, there's going to be showing several stuff on this one. That's her. They keep showing this scene. And yeah, see people keep shadowboxing their kid.
Ah.
That
See,
Nurse
like,
Hannah has gotten in trouble.
you see
for.
her-
First off, here's
he's about to
everything that
fall
Nurse
off the
Hannah
counter
has
and she
gotten in
reaches for her
trouble
Stanley
for.
Cup.
First off, she
The
did go
$50 Stanley Cup.
Good.
But here's one that was interesting that I was just watching before you came on. Hold on a second.
Okay. So this Nurse Hannah is a piece of shit.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But she's like, oh, people just attack you. No, watch this chick. This chick points out something. People are like really dissecting this stuff.
Yeah.
So watch the dad in the background.
Okay.
Yeah. Luckily, these videos are only a minute long.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's interesting. Well, it's one of those things, and I'm watching this while I'm talking, but here we go. It's just freezing on you. All right.
Okay, it's gonna work this time. I promise. But
this is something that would upset you.
so
Just
she's gonna be like doing a
I'm gonna play it back to
voiceover.
black in slow motion.
And look
But
how
just remember to
uninterested
keep
she
an
is
eye on where he
about
is
what's
right
going
here
on.
and
She is
right
always
behind.
uninterested.
You
She's
tell
always
me if
complaining.
God's hitting
So
you.
she's first. Okay. Watch the dad here. Does it look like he's hitting him?
Yeah, something's going on back there.
And so she's sitting there just eating. She's always stuffing her freaking face. It's so annoying.
Wow.
But so that's like a big drama going on. And they're like
Yeah.
calling CPS on her and stuff like that. But now they're calling it out like, well, this is Utah and this is the Church of
Fucking
Latter-day Saints.
Those motherfuckers.
So why
Yeah.
did they put us in a different studio? I'm so angry on YouTube.
Well, it's like all those videos that are out there right now. There's like parents, doing things like basically antagonizing their children to get views and likes on YouTube and Snapchat and TikTok. Like that kind of stuff actually pisses me off a little bit.
Right. You look up Ruby Frank. I don't know if you know about her.
I'll look her
They're
up.
comparing her to her, Nurse Hannah to her, and Ruby Frank was a woman that had, did family videos and stuff like that. And she has like 2 or 3 kids or something like that. And she's always talking about, my kids aren't eating until they're cleaning their room. She's always talking about not feeding her kids all the time. Same thing. And then it turns out she partnered, which pisses me off because I'm a counselor. She partnered with this counselor and they're doing this mental fitness seminar or something like that, and she's like a mental fitness specialist with this counselor. And so this counselor in her home, that was her business associate, they had her children like taped up and malnourished. And so I guess the boy escaped the house and he's like going to the neighbors asking for food, and that's how they got caught.
Jesus.
Again, I believe that was in Utah as well.
Yeah, Utah is a different place.
But these are like the Mormons.
Yeah. Jesus. That's, again, it's terrible what people are doing to their kids in the name of getting like social media presence, that sort of thing. Like it's despicable. Like leave your kids out of that. Like, I don't know.
It's not, I mean, it's a lot of like, they're using their kids for clout, but like they literally do not like their kids. Now, I don't mind people having a family blog or something like that.
No.
Like, that's cool. But, like, literally, what I kind of see Nurse Hannah doing is setting up scenarios. So there's one scenario where there's a waffle iron at the end of the table or at the end of the counter, and she, like, turns her back. And right when she turns her back, her kid touches the waffle iron. Then you see him crying, and she looks like this. Like, if my kid touched the waffle iron, I'd be like jumping on that. I don't know any parent.
No.
And so it seems to me that she's setting up these scenarios for her kid to like fall out of the chair or, and so she got famous, first of all, for saying she denied prenatal care. But then she said it was because she didn't have insurance. So she didn't get prenatal care till like 32 weeks. And then she got TikTok famous again for she had diapers all around the house, showing that, oh, look, I'm a crazy mom. I make mistakes. And then like there's like poopy diapers all over the house. And then she's complaining, I don't change my kid's diaper when they pee. Mind you, she's a nurse who
Yeah.
wipes butts of elder people and disabled people and stuff like that. And then her child gets a urinary tract infection and she gets mad at the hospital bill about it.
That's insane.
And it's like all this stuff keeps happening in these videos and stuff. And she's like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God. Like, I don't know. It blows my mind. So like, I work with travel nurses and everything at my job. And like, they're an interesting group. I've had some like really great ones and I've had some that are just completely off the wall. They're ruining the healthcare system. I'll say that much. So I don't know. I don't like kid shaming in general, like on the internet. Like I've seen those videos where like the mom's like, oh, why did you do this? Like, stop filming your kid and fucking talk to them.
Right.
Like, I hate those videos. They piss me off so much. Like, leave your kids out of it.
I hate in general. Just how people treat their kids. And I'm saying this as a therapist who has really delved into abuse and narcissistic abuse and stuff like that. And so I think we talked last time, like the baby boomers tended to be the most narcissistic. And what you'll see is a lot of the generations before us, not everybody, mind you, there's good baby boomer parents out there. And I think early Gen Xers, it was like, you need to respect me. But the respect was fear, not real respect. And it was kind of like treating your child like a lower form of life. And you need to respect your elders and blah, blah, blah. And what I have learned, because I used to have that parenting style, because that's how I was raised. Lana didn't take that shit. So it was, I did not like that I was getting angry at my child for not doing what I told her to do. I'm like, this ain't working. And my daughter's like me. When she sees bullshit, she's going to call it out. And so I started more so treating my child with mutual respect. She is a human being. I am going to treat her like human. She's got opinions. I'm going to listen to her opinions. She says she doesn't like this food. I'm not going to feed her that food, stuff like that. And it has greatly improved my relationship with my child. She does what she's told. Before it was a argument to get her to do what she's told. Now she generally does what she's told with little fight. I can't imagine. She tells me things that I would never tell my parents.
Yeah.
She's very open with me. And so you need to have a collaborative a firm relationship. You still need to, I need to take her phone away because she does get snippy. She does, she talks back sometimes and stuff like that. And so it's like, okay, I take her phone away, but I don't take it away for like a week. I take it away for like a day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because by the end of that week, you forget what they're in trouble for.
Well, you're still the parent. You still got to set boundaries and structure and,
right. But it's less about punishment and more about talking with her about what's going wrong and why it's wrong. Not really like you're bad because you do that. And that's the difference.
Yep. Oh man, interesting. I'll have to look more into this Nurse Hannah thing.
There's tons of videos on it, dude.
This is the first I'm hearing about it. I am always in the dark with these things, but it's because all I do is watch pop culture videos all the time. Speaking of,
yeah,
no,
I get that too.
Yeah,
and I realized this morning or yesterday. One thing that I didn't realize that really helped develop my humor, other than The Simpsons and Married with Children and stuff like that, but Dumb and Dumber, where which was Jim Carrey Lloyd. When Lloyd comes out of like a 7, there's this dude sitting there with like 2 Slurpees, and he stops. He goes, "Slurpees, huh? Well, see you later." Sits there like they're about to have a conversation. He sees it's going nowhere, so he's just like, "Well, see you later." And I'm like, I remember watching that and thinking that was the funniest thing ever, and I was uncomfortable watching that movie. But that part, the first time I seen it, that part, I remember that specifically. Jim Carrey very much developed my humor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's always amazing. He's always so funny with everything he does. You know, I've been very upset because, you know, obviously it's Christmas season right now. His Grinch movie is only available for like rent or purchase because I haven't found it anywhere streaming on any of my
Yeah, it
networks.
used to be on Netflix all the time.
I know, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
It's great.
Grinch.
It's got him and what's her name, Mary Sue or whatever.
Yeah,
she's a great actress too. She plays a lot of funny roles.
yes, she's great. I like the movie itself came out in like early 2000s, and I mean it's been a staple in my life on the holidays. It's definitely one of my favorite performances that Jim Carrey's ever done. And I know it was hell for him because of all the cosmetics and stuff he had to wear. He had to, I guess they brought in a like CIA interrogator to teach him how to or not interrogate, whatever it was. Like basically taught him how to get through torture because that's how bad it was. He almost quit the movie, but he does so much improv in it. He's so great. And I mean, anything Jim Carrey, I'll pretty much watch. I mean, even when he did like some of the more serious movies, The Majestic,
The Truman Show, one of the greatest.
Truman Show was great. The Eternal Sunshine for the
Sunshine of the
Spotless Mind, whatever it was. Yeah, that was a fantastic movie. And, you know, it's not his usual because you're used to him being like the goofy guy that you saw in Living Color, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura and everything. And then he goes into that. And it's a very different feel of a movie, but it was a fantastic movie. He knows how to pick his parts really well. I mean, even the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, like they're not
just coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, they're not like amazing, but like his performance in them is the reason to watch it.
They're amazing.
They're okay.
They're amazing.
They're okay. But like his performance as Dr. Robotnik, it's the reason to watch those movies. If there's any reason you pick, it's that reason. Is Jim Carrey is amazing. I think it was in the first one. He's in his like trailer or whatever it is, and he's like in front of that video screen that's like going through all these things, and he's like pretending to ski, and I don't know why, it was just like the funniest scene. And you know, and he retired from acting and then decided to come back to do Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not coming back to acting unless, you know, the script is just gold. But then he comes back into Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
And the preview looks hilarious with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the preview.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he's actually like on the good side this time.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch it. I'm going to watch it. Again, movies are not amazing, but like it's Sonic the Hedgehog. You got to watch.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're amazing.
I don't know. They're okay. I did see Alien Romulus a couple weeks ago. I finally saw Alien Romulus, and I want to talk about that because that blew my mind. It was so good. It was the first good Alien movie we've had since Aliens, in my opinion. Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, not great. Great cast, but not a great movie. But the Alien vs. Predator movies were not great. Prometheus, Alien Covenant, you know, they just kind of existed. This one brought back that feeling of terror. Like it made the xenomorph scary again, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know. I think I did like the last one. The
Alien Covenant?
Covenant.
Yeah. Alien Covenant was not bad. Prometheus, I felt like I wasted some time sitting in the theater. However, Alien Romulus tying it in.
I mean, I know I'm in the minority, but I did like Prometheus.
Yeah,
maybe I just like the design.
Yeah,
I think that's what I mostly liked about it.
That could be. I thought it was strange. So you kind of have to ignore that Alien vs. Predator movies exist, right? Because in Prometheus, Prometheus and Alien Covenant basically establishes that Michael Fassbender's character, created the xenomorph. That's what they say anyways. So you have to ignore that the Alien vs. Predator movies exist because they're in modern times. And they talk about how the ancient Egyptians, gave sacrifices to the predators. That was how the aliens were incubated, and they got to fight them. So ignoring that, let's pretend that's not canon. You go into Prometheus, this is how it's created. Alien Romulus kind of brought it full circle, and they did go back to it. So it didn't make Prometheus a total waste of time because it did bring you back to the black goo that created this life and the xenomorphs and everything.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Prometheus, because I didn't really see where it was going. I knew it was supposed to be like from the beginning or something like that. Or
Yeah.
I knew it was supposed. I wasn't like between the second and third movie or first and second. I don't know. I gotta rewatch it.
Prometheus? Or Romulus?
No, Romulus.
Yeah, Alien Romulus was between the first and second movie.
That's what I thought. Between the first and second movie, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to rewatch it though. I know it was really good. I just watched it earlier this year, and I just remember like there was a ship, and then they had to go out to it. That's all I remember. But I remember really liking it.
Well, the scenes with the face huggers, like genuinely terrifying at those points. You know, like when they're just trying to survive, and like and they really went all in on the face huggers basically being rapists.
Yeah.
To the point where the one guy's holding off one of the face huggers with whatever gun he had or taser or something, and it's like slapping him in the face with its little mouth dick thing.
Yeah.
Which made me laugh a little bit. But I mean, like
it does like give you the view of having one on you. Like,
yes,
I think more than ever, it gave you that sensation.
Yes, and it was almost like body horror, but like alien body horror. And while I was watching it, and I'm watching these things like come at them, and like the suspense was so high because you're like, are they going to get out of there? How are they going to escape this? And Fede Alvarez did this movie, who also did the 2013 Evil Dead, I guess, reboot. I guess it's not really a reboot anymore because they fixed that. And I thought that was a very good Evil Dead movie, and he's very good with the horror. But, you know, the xenomorph chasing them around the building and like making it smart and intelligent while it's hunting them, I thought that was great because they kind of just became cannon fodder after Aliens. Like, they've just, you know, they weren't that much of a threat. But like this one was going around chasing them down and creating plans and tricking them. It was really good. But Fede Alvarez does such a great job of building tension and suspense. I was very happy with them. The one part I didn't get until after I read afterwards how the aliens incubated so fast, like how the facehuggers laid the eggs and it incubated so quickly. Because I'm like, when they did it to what's his face in the first Alien movie, it felt like it took like days for the eggs to be placed and then for it to pop out of his chest.
Right.
And this was like in an hour. And I read afterwards that these were genetically altered to come out quicker. And I know that's just for the movie purposes, because that's the only thing that would make sense. But it, you know, so there was a couple of things in there that was interesting. The Weyland-Yutani Corporation experimenting with it, making clones.
Well, that's very believable, the way they grow chickens now.
Yeah. So, yeah, overall, I mean, it was a great movie. And I know you saw it a long time ago, so you might not have as much input at the moment, but
it's been a while, but a movie I did see recently, Red One.
Yeah, tell us about Red One, because I want to see that.
Well, yet again, the critics get it wrong. They have a 31% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audience score, 90%. It is such a fun movie. Chris Evans, which, you know, I haven't seen him for a while. The Rock, I think a lot of people were pissed that Rock got like $50 million for the movie. It's like, I don't really give a crap what. Okay. And it's really The Rock playing the same character he always plays, which fits because he's like Santa's bodyguard. And I wish
Isn't
Steph was here because
Santa played by J.K. Simmons?
J.K. Simmons plays Santa, and he's like buff as hell. Like, it's like a buff Santa. But I wish Steph was here because basically it's about obviously Santa getting kidnapped, and The Rock is like the bodyguard, and Elf is like a special task force. And Chris Evans was a kid that didn't believe in Santa Claus, and he like the CIA wants them to work for him and stuff like that. He's like crazy good at tracking things, and but he's kind of a shitbag. He's a shitbag dad, blah blah blah. And then they kind of force him to help them find Santa, basically. And there are run-ins with like killer snowmen. That is an awesome fight scene. You know, a great scene with a Krampus. You know, great time with Krampus. The Krampus looks awesome in it. Like the costumes and the CGI with all the monsters and stuff like that were really cool. But it was a really good like action Christmas movie though that took Christmas seriously.
Huh. Interesting. So I watched the trailer for it. I really wanted to see that one, so I'll probably catch it at some point. Is it something that will probably become one of your holiday go-tos?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's up there with Violent Night.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's funny because you mentioned Chris Evans being kind of a shitbag dad in the movie, and I was thinking about this. I've been watching a lot of Christmas movies lately, and that seems to be the theme of every Christmas movie is that the dads are the worst.
Mhm.
They're either
Which makes
terrible,
sense.
they're either terrible and like, obsessed with their work and neglect their children, or they're dead. It's one or the other, and I was like, and I started thinking about every movie. I'm like, okay, the Santa Claus. Okay. Tim Allen is obsessed with work, neglects his kid. Although I don't feel like his kid's neglected as much as like,
At least the kid went to his house.
yeah, the kid went to his house and he
had
was trying
custody of
to,
the kid.
yeah, he was trying to take
Chris
care of
Evans
him.
completely doesn't want anything to do with his kid.
Right. Okay. So that's even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in the Santa Claus, Tim Allen is like, hey, I want to spend time with my kid. I've got my job and I do that. And like, he's not the best parent, but he's trying to give his kid a good Christmas. He's the one when his mom and Judge Reinhold tell him like Santa's not real. And then Tim's the one who telling him like, yeah, Santa's real. And he's trying to keep the magic alive for him. So like, he's not as bad as as they make him out to be in the beginning of the movie. But like, you've got Jingle All the Way. Arnold Schwarzenegger is
Judge Reinhold was a total poop in that movie.
He was, but he does it so well.
Let's listen to the psychologist. Well, I am a doctor. That's so pretentious.
And Tim Allen keeps saying, he's like, you're not a doctor. You're a psychologist. He's so mean to him. And I love it. Their interaction is great. And I love the character growth in that movie. But like, so there's that one. You got Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, again, being a dad obsessed with work. Yeah. See, being obsessed with work and, acting like he's a neglectful father. It's just Christmas hates dads.
Yeah. The Peanuts, their parents are never around.
No. Batman Returns, his parents are dead.
Yeah.
Christmas Chronicles, they're dead. But
and
like, there's a trend.
Where even is his father?
Nah.
Well, the kid's father are out saving the mom who's kidnapped.
Yeah.
So the parents are nowhere to be found. It's actually about the parents not being around.
Yeah. Well, and that's it though too, is like they ended up getting a divorce. So obviously, again, it was the job was more important than the family.
Right.
And
he lives all the way across the country, literally on the other side of the country.
You got George Bailey, who was selfish and wanted to kill himself because he lost his job, leaving his whole family to fend for themselves. He's
an asshole.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I felt so bad when he yelled at his daughter when she's playing the piano.
Yeah. Well, and Christmas Vacation, though, Clark Griswold's just trying to give his kids a good, give his whole family a good Christmas. So I give him credit, even though he goes a little crazy doing it. But who wouldn't? So mad props to that movie.
But you had Uncle Eddie, who was the shitbag dad. So.
You're true. You had Uncle Eddie. Well, and I brought this.
Eddie, I mean, I can always say
Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie. Well, in fairness to Cousin Eddie, he's a wounded warrior. He's a disabled veteran, and we laugh at him for just kind of not being right in the head because of it. But yeah, I mean, you can go through just about any Christmas movie, and Jack Frost with Michael Keaton, neglectful father, dies, comes back as a snowman to learn a lesson and give his son the treatment he deserves. Like, it's just every single Christmas movie.
And what about Bob?
What about Bob? That wasn't a Christmas movie.
There's a Christmas scene when they're filming in the house, at his vacation house. They have stockings up.
Do they? It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
They do.
I love that movie.
Gremlins.
The dad's out traveling around trying to sell his stuff. He's not home.
He doesn't make any money because he doesn't invent anything.
No, he's a failed inventor, and
how does he even have a house?
He comes by, drops off this deadly monster to his kid, and says, "Here's the three rules."
He's the one that caused the problem, really.
He is. He stole it too. He stole the monster.
Stole monster that
gave
ran
it to his
amok.
son. And I mean, just like dads are the worst in Christmas movies. Just the absolute worst, which sucks because me and you we're both dads, and we do anything for our kids, and we do everything to try to give them a good Christmas. I will admit my wife does more than I do for Christmas, but I'm not.
Oh no! I just bought $200 of My Hero Academia Funko Pops and toys for my daughter.
Yeah, I mean, my wife did all the shopping for her. She did the Elf on the Shelf, and I'm helping with the Elf on the Shelf. I put all the shit together, and I do the heavy lifting, dragging the wrapping paper in and out of the garage, and
It's a team effort.
putting all the shit together. It is a team effort, but the way that dads are portrayed is it's almost as bad as moms were portrayed in the 90s sitcoms, because they're pretty much all dead.
Right. Full House.
Full House, yep. Different Strokes.
Pretty sure Winslow just disappeared later on, like in Family Matters. I'm pretty sure she just like the daughter. And which did you see the theory? Carl Winslow. He was in the Ghostbusters movie, and then the theory is he shot like a 13-year-old boy, and then moved all the way to L.A. to do an office job, and that was Die Hard. And then he had a psychotic break where he moved to Chicago and his family to Chicago and everything. And then that 13-year-old boy came back as an illusion as Steve Urkel.
I hadn't heard that part.
To haunt him for the rest of his days.
Oh man, yeah, no, I hadn't heard that one. that's pretty funny.
I wasn't following until he said that. I was like, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, a little off topic, but I was thinking about how shitty dads are treated in Christmas movies.
Also, I watched Gladiator 2.
How was that?
Let me see what the Rotten Tomato score is. Here's what I'll say before I look at the scores, just so you know my opinion isn't based on the scores. It's not Gladiator without Russell Crowe. The fights, they're pretty good fights, but it was really forced. Let's see. Rotten Tomato score, 71%. Let's see what the audience says. Audience since 83. That's getting pretty good scores. I didn't hate it. It's not... When Gladiator came out, and I was in the Army, and so we watch violent movies in the Army, I watched it 100 times.
Yeah.
When it
was a great movie.
I don't know how many times I seen Gladiator. Russell Crowe was just like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah. Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, the two of them together were great.
Joaquin Phoenix did great. They had the rulers in this that were pretty good. Actually, pretty good wieners. And Denzel Washington actually played a pretty decent part. It was not... Well, he did really good with what he was given. Now, they had weird stuff. Like they had a naval gladiator arena with sharks in it. I'm like, is that historically accurate? Did they allow like saltwater into the what's it called?
The arena.
The Coliseum.
Yeah.
And then pipe in great white sharks in there, and then have a shit battle in the middle of this Coliseum with all these people watching. Did that really happen?
I'm no historian, but I don't think so. It's interesting. How long ago did Gladiator come out? It was like almost 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
so over 20 years.
Like that.
So like it took a long time to get a sequel. You'd think that would have been a little bit better.
No, it just annoys me that they're like had the Pedro Pascal is not the Gladiator though. By the way, he's in it, but he's not the Gladiator. 2000 when the first one came out.
2000. Okay, so it's been 24 years.
So, like I said, I didn't hate it. I don't know if I'm going to go out of my way to watch it. I'm not like, oh, I got to see this again. I mean, if it's on, I'll watch it. But I thought that it was kind of forced. The story really lines up, though. So, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll check that out at some point. I started watching The Penguin. Everybody was raving about it. I finally had some time to sit and watch a few episodes. And it's so good. I'm sorry, were you done with Gladiator?
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
I'm about 3 episodes into The Penguin right now. I'm still working on getting through that one. It's really good. It's so, I mean, Colin Farrell, if he doesn't get an Emmy nomination for this, I don't know.
Great.
I don't know what they're doing.
Sophia, what's her face? I don't know how far. She is great in this.
I've heard she's great. I've seen things on Facebook about it. I don't think I'm at that part yet.
Oh, she becomes the best character.
Does she? Okay. The
How I Met Your
one
Mother.
that one, yeah, she's in there from the first episode. I'm sorry, yeah. I
Sophia.
mixed up her name. I have to look this up now. What's her name?
No, I don't know her name. I'm thinking of her character name.
Oh, her character? Oh, yeah, the Falcone.
Falcone. I was thinking C, and I knew it was Calphone. Falcone. Sophia Falcone.
Yeah. What's the actress's name? She's great.
Sophia
Milioti.
Yeah,
Kristen Milioti.
Yeah, Kristen Milioti. Yeah, she's fantastic in this movie or in this show.
She's so good. Like the way she portrays herself, like she's kind of she's the hangman, they call her, and she's just completely crazy. And I love how the Penguin is so deceptive. You know, he's playing both sides.
He's always got something going on, and it goes on to the end. He's the Penguin. Like it's like throughout the show, it's like you're looking at him as he's the good guy. Like you're rooting for him, but then he shows it's the Penguin. I don't like his name in there. I forget what they call him. They don't call him Cobblepot.
Oh, they don't?
No.
What do they call him then? Cobb?
They call him something else.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're saying Cobblepot on Google.
Yeah. Well, he does such a good job of like playing both sides, in it for himself, just trying to win. Like in, hearing his backstory, like just trying to create something out of nothing for himself. He's really good, taking the kid under his wing, but like still being a gangster at the same time, like a ruthless gangster. There's been in those 3 episodes, 3 hours of this show, there's been so many great moments that will stick with me. And again, Colin Farrell, like it's hard because like I watch the show and I'm looking for Colin Farrell, but he's not there. Like that's how good of an actor he is. That's how good the makeup effects were. Like you can't see Colin Farrell in the Penguin. Like they could be telling us that and it could be somebody else and I'd believe them.
Yeah.
It blows my mind how much effort he put into this character, and it makes sense why they made this show for him.
There's some times though where you're just like, Batman's got to show up now. Like, there's no way he doesn't show up.
Yeah, I've already gotten that vibe, and I'm just kind of like, there's a lot of shit going down here. What's Batman doing?
Right, exactly. But then, when you look at Gotham City, there's always something going on. So he might be busy, and he needs Nightwing.
Yeah. I know. Well, I'm excited to see the next chapter of Matt Reeves' Batman. And I hope they keep it going with that universe because I'm really enjoying what they've done with it so far. I know that they've cast Alan Tudyk as Clayface in the James Gunn Batman movie. I don't know if he's directing or what's going on with that, but I know they cast him in the James Gunn universe. It's interesting to see that they're using Clayface because we've never seen Clayface in a live action Batman movie.
I would like to see Clayface. That would be great. There's a lot of, it's funny because we've seen like King Shark before we've seen Clean. Yeah.
And Clayface could be a really interesting character. I'm talking aesthetically because, if you remember, like in the Batman Arkham games, he was actually kind of a scary character. Like, he was a real monster in there. And James Gunn has quite the reputation of working with monsters. So this could be really something cool that they do. And I don't think they've announced anything as far as casting for Batman goes for that universe yet either.
Yeah. And that's the thing about that universe is like, it's another, I don't know if there's like supposed to be like another realistic Batman, but it would be nice to have creatures like Clayface and Killer Croc and stuff like that, Right.
I want them to go with more of the metahuman villains.
Solomon Grundy. It would be nice to get some of those characters some love because, they are my favorite, my favorites.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really tired of Harley Quinn. I'm sorry, they burnt her out.
Yeah. The problem is they've tried so hard with her. And I thought that what's her face did a really good job in the Birds of Prey and Margot Robbie. Yeah. I thought she was a pretty good Harley Quinn. they're overusing her at this point. Like, I mean, she's got almost more movies than Batman does. The show is fantastic. The cartoon is so funny with Kaylee Cuoco and who is it? Diedrich Bader does Batman. That's a really good one. I like that show. But yeah, I want to see some more metahuman villains for Batman to fight because they've gone realistic with just about every single Batman movie. I don't know if it's CGI budget or whatever, but you know, unless he was teamed up with somebody in the Zack Snyder universe, you weren't seeing him take on any of the metas or aliens or anything.
Yeah, but I know Creature Commando does kind of look good, but like they're trying to force like sex scenes and stuff in it. It looks like so.
I'll watch it. I have a lot of faith in James Gunn, and I'm really excited to see
what at this point.
No?
I think he's going to become woke.
He probably will, just like everybody else in Hollywood, but he tells a good story though. And I'm hoping that they take what he's going to do and they're going to make it good. I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special the other day. I hadn't seen that in 2 years. I didn't watch it last year. And that was good, even just for a short little 40-minute movie. You know, that was a fun one to watch. Guardians of the Galaxy, all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies were great.
Well, I think I'm kind of turned off because of, you know, that clip of Dragon Age I sent you.
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently, so I was watching this guy play for like a second, and he was talking about like, you can't make any other choice but transgender. Like, I can't, he literally is in a spot where he can only be transgender. It doesn't matter what he says, he's transgender.
So explain that for anybody listening. What's going on with that game?
So I don't know what I've seen. I haven't researched it too much, but I don't know what the characters are. They're like demon characters. I don't know if you know what they're called. They have horns and stuff like that, and they're mythical characters. And the girl is talking to her mom, saying that she is gender fluid or something like that.
Yeah.
She and her pronouns are they, them, and the mom's very confused about this.
Yeah.
And it's a long, drawn out discussion about how the mom doesn't accept the daughter not having a gender or whatever, or being both genders or whatever gender she feels like. I don't.
And this is a cutscene in a video game, in a very popular franchise.
In a medieval magic game.
Yes. Yeah, it's medieval. It's like an RPG. You're running around, you're fighting monsters and dragons and stuff. And for some reason, there's a cutscene in there where they like this. Like when you sent me that video, I thought it was fake. And I looked it up and I was like, this is not fake. This is a real cutscene from this game of them having this conversation with the main character who's saying that he, she, whatever is transgender, and like using those words. It's wild. It's wild. Like, how do you...
Well, that's the
I don't know who was thinking about doing this or whose planning was behind this, and to ruin such a great franchise by creating this concept of we need to have a transgender main character.
Yeah, and I was actually kind of excited to play it. But yeah, and that's the thing, like never before did we have a discussion with mom in a Dragon Age game about our sexuality. So why are we starting now? Yeah, you're supposed to go off and fight dragons. And it's like, no, I must confront my mom.
Yeah. Right. What's going on? And it's not that I care. Like, if you have the option to pick genders in a game and they want to make one of those options transgender, that's absolutely fine. Don't make it the focus of the game.
Like, it's a little too real world.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the thing. It's not about the character being transgender. It's about, if I'm transgender, I'm actually having this conversation with my parents. And now I'm playing a game where I'm a demon having this conversation with my parents. You know?
Thanks for making me relive that, BioWare.
You know, it's like what I want to play a video game. Where like I go to AA.
Yeah, right?
And I sit in an AA meeting and listen to somebody talk about their drunk story for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. And it's in a video. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the fact that video games are just pixels. They are pixels that are put together to talk and do stuff and make it look like you're, immersed in this world. They're pixels. They don't actually have genders. You can play pretend all you want. They don't have genders. It's just that happened in a video game. And I know with what was the one that came out from why am I drawing a blank on this? The one from Bethesda, Star's Reach?
That one?
Whatever it was, yeah. Well, in the game,
yeah.
Why can't I think of it?
Starfield,
thank you. I don't know. I was saying Star's Reach. That was in my head. Starfield, yeah. So in Starfield, in the beginning of the game, like in any Bethesda game, you get to pick your gender, what they look like, and everything. And one of the options in there for gender was like non-binary or something like that. I don't remember what it was. But anyways, it gave you another option that was not male or female. And it's like, great, you can pick that, and then you can move on to the game. It's never brought up again. There's no point in even having it in there in reality, which is fine. Hey, try to be inclusive. I get it. Do it. Whatever works for you. But to have an entire cutscene in a game that's having this conversation, and it'd be different if they were just like, if you're in the game and it's like, oh, well, I don't really have a gender, like just in the game, but not like sitting down at dinner having a conversation with your parents about how you're transgender.
I always wanted to know what this was like. I'm going to play Dragon Age.
This is a great simulation.
If if they really want that, can't they make like transgender simulator?
Yeah. I
wonder what it's like to be transgender for a day. And then you buy a $4 transgender simulator and you're like, should I use the men or woman's bathroom?
Which one do I use? I don't know.
I mean, and then I can really kind of delve into it, because it's like I go into the woman's room and they're like, hey, get out of here, and it's like, but I'm a woman, and or my name is Ron. And
and I want everybody out there to know we're not talking shit about the transgender community. We're talking shit about a game that has a cutscene in it for no reason.
Yeah, well, I was kind of making fun of it because video game.
Yeah, it's a video
simulator,
game.
Transgender.
It's a simulator. Oh man, well that game. I don't know. I think I played the first and the second one. I don't think I ever played the third one. Which game was that? I don't remember. I don't think I played the third one.
I think I played them all.
I think this is the fourth that came out.
But So I'm going back to Elden Ring.
Yeah, I'm on Enshrouded right now. Me and my brother got that for each other for Christmas. We gave it to each other early for a Christmas present. And it's basically, it's your standard RPG survival building type thing. So you have to build a house, upgrade your weapons, find new materials. It's survival crafting. It's great. It has a very unique building system. The combat system is very similar to Valheim, if you're familiar with that. But it's very good. They did an excellent job and really put a lot of love into this game. But it's all voxel, so you can terraform the world around you. But it's got a pretty good story going on so far. I've only played for maybe a few hours, but it's got a pretty decent story in it. But yeah, that one's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying that. But you know me, I like the survival crafting games. Keep me busy for hours.
Well, there's one game I got to play. And I've been seeing it all over. It came out in 2019, and it's on Steam, cheap, called Outer Wilds. And I've been told, or I've seen, that playing that game will change your perception on life.
Interesting.
It's a space game, but it doesn't tell you what to do at all. And you just kind of search planets and stuff and figure out what to do. But when you move something, it stays moved and all that stuff. And so I don't know if it's like Majora's Mask where Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
But but the next day, the thing will still be there. And so you just figure out all the puzzles and stuff on your own. But apparently when you beat this, so I'm going to have to play it at some point. But yeah, apparently when you beat it, it completely changes your view on life. So it's like very therapeutic. So I have to check it out.
I know why I was talking about Stars Reach or why that was in my head. So that's a new game that's coming out soon. That's from the creator of Star Wars Galaxies. It's going to be an MMO kind of game. They build the guys who made Star Wars Galaxies did an excellent job. They build something that you can basically create your own economy. It's the kind of game where you go through different skill trees and you can visit other planets and get weapons and gear from other people, like other players who are artisans and crafters. It's interesting. I'm excited to see that one when it's fully done. Right now, I think they're still doing some polish on it, and it'll be another year or so before it comes out, but it looks good. I was a huge fan of Star Wars Galaxies.
So I'm trying to find it. Google apparently came out with this thing to where I don't know how it is. Like you type in what you want, and that you get, and then it shows it, and you get to interactively be in it. Like if I make like a sailboat, if I say sailboat and water in Africa, you actually get to play as a sailboat, and it'll create it and everything. And this is just the beginning stages of this, by the way.
Yeah.
So imagine just being able just to type in whatever you want and creating a video game that way, and then AI instantly making it for you.
Well, I want to be a transgender demon who has a conversation with his parents about being transgender.
So this it really reminds me of The Simpsons when like they were playing the game like mow the lawn or something like that.
Yeah,
and it was a joke. But now it's like The Simpsons did it again.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
I think, wasn't there an episode, I think this was The Simpsons, where they were, where Bart didn't want to do like yard work or something, and then they go to this like electronic expo, and it was like virtual garden work. Oh, sweet, I can't wait.
Yeah,
Bart gets and he starts doing yard work.
Yeah. But that's real, because there was a virtual game I wanted to play on there. I don't know if it was like make your own like card store or something like that on Steam.
I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to think that like you could do that, because I'm into the programming. I'm designing a game right now, horror survival game. It's still quite a ways away from being done. I haven't had time to work on it recently, but
Police Simulator. That's what I was playing. You can simulate being a police officer.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen that around, and I've never played it. I was curious about it.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Come out. Just go on Steam and just type in simulator, and there's just like Goat Simulator.
Yeah, Goat Simulator. I've seen videos of that. That's pretty funny.
Truck Simulator. I did the Farm Simulator. My thing about the simulator games is I can never I'm just like, what's the goal of this?
Yeah, there is none.
I'm just doing stuff, and I'm like, this is kind of boring because there's like no end.
There's one game where you basically just run around as an alley cat. There's not really much to do. You just kind of are walking around as a cat.
Oh yeah,
that's it. That's the game. Video games are wild now. They're wild. But you know what? That
people buy this stuff.
The Goat Simulator one is apparently very popular. Like I've seen a lot of videos of it because you're a goat, but you can kind of do anything. Like I've seen people ride skateboards with it. I've seen people just like wander out into traffic. Like it's wild. It's just, there's no other way to describe it. It's wild.
And I know I played this Thief Simulator on Switch, and every time I get caught, I can never go too long without getting caught. Because somebody always walks in the house right when I'm in there breaking some shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Bee
gaming
Simulator.
I can't wait to see what the world of gaming looks like in 10 years. There's a lot of indie developers now because it's easier now than it's ever been to learn how to code. The engines that they've made have made it simple. Like you can do it from home. Most of the stuff is free. Most of the software and the engines are free to work with. I use Udemy to go online and do courses to learn how to do it. And I've maybe spent $30-$40 on courses, when you can go get a college degree in like computer science for like $50,000. But here I am spending $50 and learning how to code a video game on a computer.
Do you have Sims 4 in your library? It says free, and it says it's in my library. I remember the last time I played Sims.
Yeah. I know I have SimCity 3000 on my Steam.
I think I was playing that, and
Yeah.
my city always like burns down or something.
Yeah.
Like that's
I'm
the
not
thing
very-
with these simulator games. I can't go too far in them. Like, there's always disaster for me.
It's like, well, that did not go well. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the next 10 years of gaming look like, especially with AI becoming so popular now. I mean, I
As
was
long
on
as they
Amazon.
don't keep up with what they're doing now, it is getting pretty bad. To tell you the truth, like there's potential for good games, but gaming is wanting to make a statement, not make a good game.
Yeah. Yes. And I'll be honest, I spend a lot more time with games from indie developers than I do from the big companies because they're better and they're unique. And I'm biased too because I'm an indie developer. If you look at some of these games that are coming out from these like 1 to 3 man teams, they're creating news stories. Some of it's a little like copy and paste from different things, which is fine. There's a lot of similarities. So like with Enshrouded, there's a lot of similarities between that and Legend of Zelda, like the Switch ones. And you would be able to pick it out if you saw it. Like you get a glider. You have a grappling hook. Even the stamina bar looks very familiar. But it was the same thing with Pal World. You had the same thing in Pal World. So there's a lot of copy and paste stuff, but they're coming up with new ideas and new storylines that are different. You know, Call of Duty, I know how popular of a game Call of Duty is. Since Modern Warfare 3, I don't think I've played a Call of Duty game because I was paying money. I was paying $60 to play the same game with different graphics. And I was like, well, why am I going to keep doing this? I've done it. It's fine. You know, I know a lot of people do it because their friends are doing it and they, you know, they got the multiplayer stuff, but it's not holding my interest anymore for some of these first person shooters because there's nothing unique about them.
No, they've gone to trash.
Yeah. I very much enjoy like somebody having creative new ideas that we haven't seen before. And those are the games that I buy. Those are the games I like.
Yeah. Apparently I have Age of Empires 3 too. I'm downloading it because I'm going to play the shit out of that.
That's a great game. That's a great game.
Oh, yeah. All right. You ready to take us home?
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us tonight or today or whatever time it is while you're listening to this podcast. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. We put some different content out there occasionally. And we look forward to seeing you next time.
Level up, guys.